Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a dupe video comparing high-end makeup products and drugstore makeup products. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. And here's my face with no makeup on. Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel / TikTok because I'm going to be cutting some of these into shorts. I'm going to be using these EcoTool brushes that I got as a gift for Christmas. I just got them because apparently my Christmas gifts were at my parents' house and I didn't know because nobody told me. So yeah, my stepsister gifted me an Ulta gift card and these brushes, and I'm going to show you some dupes for popular drugstore brands and comparisons and some of the money I used from that gift card. So yeah, without further ado, I have a ton of products to go through. I'm gonna keep this tin because it's really good quality and it has a little handle and it comes with a lid that says EcoTools. Very good quality. I don't know what I put in here yet, but this would be cute for wax melts. But I don't have a wax warmer. But I'm gonna keep this. This little set I got gifted comes with a fluffy shader brush, a liner brush, a crease brush, a kind of thin kind of foundation style brush, or you could use it for powders, but it's shaped more like a foundation brush, and a giant powder brush. And EcoTools makes really good brushes. They're super affordable and super soft. So let me make this very clear. Some of these are dupes and I'll tell you which ones, and some of these are dupes that I've not seen before, and some of these are just comparing what's in my collection. But I'm going to try to do my whole face comparing. So let's go. So I'm going to start how I normally do my makeup, which is eyes. And I'm going to be comparing the ABH primer. Sorry, it's like one of the only drugstore ones or high-end ones that I have. So the only high-end eye primers I have are Urban Decay and ABH. So I'm going to compare the longevity and brightness of my eyeshadows using the ABH primer and the e.l.f. primer. And I think I'm going to do high-end on my left side because that's my bad eye and I know, or bad side of my face, and I know how these products perform. And I'll use the drugstore on my right side. So this might be backwards for you. So ABH is in a squeezy tube and I put way too much on my finger. Way too much. I'm gonna tap that in. Tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna cover my whole eyelid and the bottom lower lash line. Well, no, just my whole eyelid. I'll do the lash line when I'm done with the rest of my face. Okay, so tap that in. It dries down to like a powder kind of consistency. Covers up my veins pretty decently, but not perfect. And it is not super sticky. Like the Urban Decay primer potion is my favorite because it gets sticky. This e.l.f. Putty eye primer, it says it's crease and smudge proof for 12 hours. This will intensify your colors, locked in with 12 hours of crease proof wear. It's infused with vegan soqueline known to moisturize throughout the day. And it says to apply with an eyeshadow brush or your fingertips, wear alone for a thin amount of color, or apply eyeshadow on top for a vibrant long-wearing look. And also all of e.l.f.'s products are cruelty-free and vegan. So I'm going to take a little bit on my finger. Actually, I'm going to use the same finger that I used. Already, I can tell you this is way drier than a MAC paint pot. That used to be my OG back in the day. And this is not as creamy and it's very, very dry. I have used this once before, but it was not to test it out. It was just like, hey, I'm going somewhere, I'm going to throw this on. So it's very dry. It's hard to blend out like on my eye. Like I don't know if you can see that. There's a little dry spot right there that will just not let me blend it out. So this is already, I can tell, way too yellow. It looked a little dark in the packaging anyways, not my color. And it's really hard and dry hard to blend out. It does not cover up my veins, and it's not sticky. Now, these two eyeshadow palettes that I'm using for my eyes look nothing alike. For the eyes, I'm going to be comparing Jeffree Star's Orgy and Mini Orgy to ColourPop's Wild Nothing. And for Wild Nothing, I'm going to be using Sultan on my eyelid, Top Down in my crease, and Vagabond on my outer corner. And for the Orgy collection, I'm going to be using probably Gagging on my lid. I'm going to use Fluffer as the pink dupe for Top Down, and Safe Sex as the dupe for Vagabond. I'm going to be cleaning my eye brushes as I go. So I'm going to go in with Top Down on my drugstore kind of side. I'm curious if this is going to show up on top of that e.l.f. shadow. I have used this palette before, and it's one of my favorites because it's just so light and natural. I'm going to do my drugstore side first so I don't have to keep cleaning the brush. So it does show up. She cute. She got a little bit of pigment. I'm going to take Vagabond on the outside kind of V area. This one's not showing up as good. And it could be the brush. These are so fluffy. They're not very dense. And then I'm going to take the kind of fluffier, actually no, I'm going to use my finger because this is a Super Shock, I forgot. So Sultan is a Super Shock. I don't know why they put those in those palettes because I feel like they're going to dry out super, super fast, but that's just my opinion. Then I'm going to go back in with that brush that had Vagabond on it, and just blend the two together. Very cute, very natural, very light. That is the eyeshadow for the ColourPop side. I repeat the same steps using Fluffer and Safe Sex. Now Fluffer does look lighter in the pan, so I'm really going to try to build this up so that it has the same kind of intensity as the ColourPop one. But I don't know if I will get there because these shadows are super powdery. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get there. And then I'm going to apply Safe Sex to the outer corner. She is pigmented, you can tell. I'm going to try taking Fluffer without packing the excess off. So it's just straight pigmented. Pigment. I can't talk today. I did nothing. Okay, so taking Gagging on my finger. I'm gonna apply that to the high-end side. And this is very glittery compared to that Super Shock shade we used. But this is a comparison, not a dupe. So, yeah. And there's a spot that doesn't want to pick up shadow. Okay, I got it. Now, already looking at it, I could tell that, like, I have a few little spots where the Super Shock didn't stick, and that could be the primer because I've used this shade before. The colors, as far as intensity, look more intense on the ColourPop side, and I think that's because of pigment, but the overall blend looks better on the ABH side. So final thoughts on the eye primers. I think the e.l.f. one is a great dupe or comparison for the ABH in a drugstore form as far as intensifying your eyeshadows, making them stick. But it is super drying, super drying. Like, I don't know how that's getting recommended to people, being that dry, and then that weird patch that I got that still is there. So for me, it's probably like a 7 out of 10 or maybe a 6 out of 10. Probably 6 out of 10. It's really dry. Like, I would reformulate that if it was me. Just saying. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. So for the drugstore side, I'm using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I don't know if I still have the box for this. I do. So this says, this perfecting putty primer smooths the skin and preps it with Sequeline to help moisturize and gear up makeup for all day wear. The velvety texture glides over skin, smoothing over imperfections for a poreless effect. It says, allow to set for 30 seconds before applying foundation. This is the universal sheer one, not the matte or like illuminating one, so just so you know. And then I've already compared it to the Timeless Smoothing Primer, if you want to watch that on my TikTok by Tarte. The Tarte one won, in my opinion. I wanted to compare it to the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I have a mini of this. So that's what I want to compare it to, because this is my favorite primer so far. If I remember right, yep, the texture reminds me more of the Tatcha one than the Tarte one that I tried. It's very cooling. It's very like kind of moisturizing feeling on the skin. It does blend out your pores, but not as much as I feel like the Tarte one did. Like, this one blended it okay a little bit. Like, it blended some pores and imperfections, but it didn't get rid of them. And I feel like the Tarte one just completely filled those suckers in. They were gone. So next I'm going to take another finger. I'm not going to use my ring finger. And I'm going to apply the Tatcha one to the high-end side. The Tatcha one's heavily fragranced. I don't think I ever noticed that until now. And I'm making sure to really get in my nose, which is where my pores are like so big, it's not even funny. So I don't think you're going to be able to see this because I film on my front-facing camera with my iPhone. This side looks very clear and this one looks about the same. From far away, I can definitely see more pores in this general area than this side. This side does look smaller, but it's fragranced. While that sits in, let's go ahead and do eyeliner, which is what I have been waiting for. Actually, I have 4 liners I want to compare. So I think what I'm going to do is apply 2 of them as the like line part and then 2 of them as the wing part. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to use these liners. So the NYX matte liquid liner against the ABH liner. And then I'm going to do the wings using Tattoo Liner by Kat Von D and Epic Ink Liner by NYX. I've heard that these are dupes from each other on TikTok, on YouTube. I want to try it out for myself. I already know that the NYX and the ABH are a dupe. It's the Epic Ink Liner that I'm not sure of yet. And I'm not a fan of these kind of wand liners for wings, because they're really hard to do. Like, it's really hard for me with a shaky hand to get it, like, perfect. I'm gonna try to stay in film for this. I'm already out of film. This one's super cute. And then I'm going to use the ABH one on the other side. I do not like the ABH one. I'm going to be completely honest. It is so wet that it takes forever to dry. Like, I can be sitting here for like 5 minutes with my eye half open, waving myself, and it still won't dry. This one is probably already dry by now. Okay. Also, something to point out, this is like a plasticky, like felt tip. Not a fan. The next one is an actual brush. So from far away, they look pretty identical. The ABH one is not as thick on this side. For me, I'm a fan of the next one. It dries faster. To me, it looks more black, and it has a better wand because it's like a brush tip, in my opinion. And I would call these ones dead on dupes. Like, there's no denying it. I have filmed this one portion 3 times now, so if this doesn't come out, I'm just gonna say fuck it. For my high-end side, I'm using Kat Von D's tattoo liner. I have a full size that is almost dried out, so if you see me using the tiny sample one, that is why. And on the drugstore side, I'm going to be using the NYX Epic Ink Liner. I'm only going to be doing the wing, like, end portion with these, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna leave it like that, just a tiny little wing. I'm gonna try to go that low on this side and hope I don't fuck it up. Okay, first impressions, the tattoo liner is a little drier and I feel like it's not as black, and I know that this one fades throughout the day to get kind of gray. This one is waterier, probably because it's fresher. It's about the same level of blackness. They're both really good. I would call them dupes. I'm opening a new mascara just for this video. So for the high-end side, I'm going to be using my old and true Too Faced Better Than Sex. This makes your lashes really thick, but it can go to Spider Lash Town really fast. It does flake off throughout the day, but it is super black and it is really volumizing for my very straight blonde lashes, which is why this is my favorite. I know this gets a lot of hate, but I love this. I really do wish that the waterproof version was vegan, but it's not. The next one I have is a BH Cosmetics mascara. This appears to be vegan from what I can tell, because otherwise I don't think I would have bought it. I've been on a vegan mascara kick, I think. This is a BH Cosmetics Stellar Lash, and I haven't really heard anything about this, so that's why I bought it. So this is going on my drugstore side, and Too Faced Better Than Sex is going on my high-end side. So let's curl my lashes. I'm going to do my left eye first. My left eye is also my bad eye because my lashes aren't as long. So let's go ahead and open the BH Cosmetics one because I haven't. I've been trying not to open more than like 1 or 2 mascaras at a time. But this will be my 3rd mascara opened. It's okay. Because one of them I have opened, I'm only using for my lower lash line. Oh, this is beautiful. This looks like vinyl, like tech wrap vinyl for my Cricut. just on this beautiful ombre packaging. I love the packaging. This doesn't have any claims on it. I'm assuming. Okay, wand looks almost the same. I don't know if I'm concerned or hypnotized. This is like spider lashes, but it's like lengthening. But it's kind of not, because if you look at my left eye, my left eye is kind of droopy. But my right eye is like spider lashes. So let's apply a second coat. I'm purposely gonna make this spider lash to look like the other one. Okay, so the Better Than Sex made them longer. The Better Than Sex made them more voluminous. The BH Cosmetics one almost got the length that the left eye did, but not quite. And I know that my right eye has longer lashes, so that kind of concerns me. Volume-wise, the BH Cosmetics does stand up straighter, but not by much. They're almost identical, but I prefer the formula Better Than Sex. This just is too lengthening. It doesn't have that thick ump that the Better Than Sex has, especially getting right in my root. So I would say this is more of a lengthening kind of 2-in-1 mascara. I wouldn't call this a volumizing mascara, but I would say they're kind of dupes for each other if you wanted a drugstore option. Yes, but not my favorite. Probably like a 6 out of 10. Changing these camera angles is probably going to drive y'all insane. It's probably going to drive me insane when I'm editing it. I'll put the BH Cosmetics mascara claims in the comments, as well as what I rate each product. Since I already primed, I'm going to go in with foundation. Now, for the drugstore side, I'm using something called the Healthy Foundation from Physicians Formula. It's a brightening complexion for all skin types product. And then I have this new Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie. I got this at Ulta on sale, and I got the shade Ellen 2, which is like light neutral 2. It's a concealer and foundation in one, and it says it will improve imperfections and blend evenly into the skin, and it's supposed to be a full coverage that you can build up. It says, it's really hard to read the packaging because it's reflective. Redefine complexion with groundbreaking long-wear foundation and concealer that's formulated to instantly mask blemishes and imperfections, leaving behind a natural skin-like finish. And then it goes on about concealing and stuff. I actually ordered this and the blush I'm going to use from Ulta at the same time, and they came in a bubble mailer that was filled to the top with water. And the packaging got soaking wet, and I emailed a picture of it to Ulta, and luckily they reshipped it to me with like 2-day shipping. So I have a broken one I'm going to be using and a new one that I am going to be doing in a giveaway, because really the packaging's was what got messed up, not the actual product. So this is like that plasticky glass. This is glass because this is heavy. You can feel it. The packaging on this is very sleek and pretty. The Complexion Authority, Blue Light Defense, Anti-Pollution, Blue Zone Vegan Friendly. Apply 2 to 3 pumps for fuller coverage. So I don't know if these are going to be a dupe already. I can tell that the Healthy foundation is going to be darker. If it is darker, I will take the NYX Total Drop and just make it more white. because it does look really dark, really dark. So let's go in with the healthy foundation first. That way, if I need to add that total drops on the back of my hand, I can. But for some reason, this is really pink. I never noticed that until I put it next to another foundation. It's really pink. It does look right, but I do know it is like one shade too dark. But Physicians Formula didn't have anything lighter or darker. And I'm going to take a new brush. I'm going to use a Kat Von D one for that side. And I'll use the e.l.f. one for this side. I'm just going to tap this mixture on the back of my hand just to lighten it up just a little bit. And then I'm really gonna blend this. I already grabbed too much, I can tell. I should have used my finger. This one dries fast too. Like I put it on the back of my hand and it's already like gone. It does blend in very nicely to the skin though. Let me go wet a beauty blender for my concealer side. Using my Real Techniques sponge, I'm just gonna very lightly go over this. It's pretty flawless. I like this foundation because it makes my skin kind of have like this healthy, natural radiance to it. So that's what it looks like compared to no foundation and foundation. So let's go ahead and go into the Pure one. And I'll be using a similar brush. This is the Kat Von D one. It's a little bit bigger than the e.l.f. one I used. So let's go ahead and get into that. Keep in mind that you really only need one pump for your whole face. And then you can blend it in as you want. This one, because it's concealer and a foundation, has a pump and the dome foot applicator. I'm gonna do one pump of this. Like that's one pump. That's more than I need because I'm only doing half of my face. So this is how I should have applied the e.l.f. one or the Physicians Formula one. I make dots along my face. Then I blend this in and whatever's left on the back of my hand is what I would use if I needed it. And I can already tell this is way too much because of the formula of the foundation. So I start by patting it, which I know technically you should work it into the skin, but then I could take any excess and wipe it off on the back of my hand or a clean towel. Or blend it down my neck or onto my ears. So let's blend this bad boy in, especially blending the kind of where it meets with the other one. This is a very fast drying foundation concealer too. Definitely full coverage. But it's weird because it doesn't feel like heavy on my face. So, I'm gonna put a little bit more of this on my nose. That's where I tend to break more. So the coverage is definitely about medium to full coverage with that amount that I used. You can still see the texture of it. It's very full on my face. You can see all the little bumps. I have some imperfections on this cheek right now. You could see the little bit of dryness it has seeping into my little smile lines and around my nose. On my forehead, it's dry in my dry spots. It looks very heavy. Whereas this side looks like my skin, just with a light kind of touch to it. So, far away, I think they look kind of even. I do think this looks more matte and this looks more radiant, but that might be my lighting. I hate this share. Do y'all see this? Like, did I just find a dupe? I feel like this one's more full coverage. As far as this, the claims are true, but I do not think this is super buildable. I know a lot of people say it is, but if I was to apply any more than what I did, it's gonna look like a hot mess. Probably give that like a 7 out of 10. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. But honestly, I'd give this one probably an 8 out of 10. Personally, I would call these comparisons. I wouldn't call them a dupe, because looking at it in depth, you can see this did cover the imperfections more. This still has a little bit of redness, but this one you can build up. For concealer, I didn't want to do like high-end versus drugstore, because I already know that the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer is a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape. This has been tried and true. But what I did want to know was, how is this new creamy concealer any different than the normal Tarte Shape Tape? So I'm going to be using the new Ultra Creamy Tarte Shape Tape on my drugstore side, and I'm going to be using the tried and true on my high-end side, since I already know how that one performs. It's an OG. Now, I got the shade Fair Neutral in the new shade, and on the other one, I'm just fair. That's how old this is. I'm going to do the same way I do it with a beauty sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and color correct my dark circles with my e.l.f. I use this almost every day if I'm going out somewhere or like on a date or maybe to work. I gotta do this because otherwise these bad boys will peek through even the most full coverage concealers. There is no joke with this. So I'm gonna do 1 dot and 1 dot, and that's still a lot of concealer. Like, I don't even need more than that. So let's go ahead and take my beauty blender. So I start by blending out the corner. Be careful about that wing, but I do like to squish my beauty blender into a point and carve it out. And that can help. Ooh, I just went over it by accident. That can help if you messed it up or something like that. You can use your fingers. I don't like to because it gets stuck behind my nail. But that's up to you. And make sure you get in that inner corner. And whatever's left, blend it towards the center. I'm talking to you like you don't know how to apply concealer. Sorry. I haven't used this in so long. Okay, now while that's like kind of wet, I'm gonna take my ambient lighting powder. I'm gonna do this on both sides because I know that this works. And I'm gonna take a little fluffy e.l.f. brush. I just need to set this very lightly. Otherwise it will crease on me. I know my face. So let's take the Tarte Ultra Creamy. This says America's #1 concealer brand. That might actually be true. It doesn't have any claims on it, so let's try it. Because I've heard some people say that this one's the same coverage but lighter, and I've also heard people say it's a gimmick. This one looks way brighter. It's so much easier to blend out. And I know it's not the sponge because I use these two sponges like in and out of each other every day. It has kind of like a weird smell to it. I have found that brightening that inner corner with like just a dollop of concealer makes my whole face look like a different shape. It's incredible. Okay, same thing while that's a little bit wet. I'm gonna take this and set it very lightly. We're not baking, I'm just adding the littlest bit of powder or something there to add some dimension or powder to not make it crease. Applying it, this side did look brighter before I added that ambient lighting powder, but overall they look the exact same. They're even creasing in the same spots. They look very full coverage. I could tell from where I blended it out on my nose. Coverage wise, this one does just feel the slightest bit lighter. Otherwise, they feel the exact same. Yeah, I think it's a gimmick. They look identical. Moving on to blush, I'm really nervous about this. So this is the e.l.f. Tahiti blush by e.l.f. We all know these work and they're awesome. But I got the new Rare Beauty in Nearly Neutral. That is the melting blush, and I have not tried this. So this says it delivers a weightless wash of soft color that melts upon contact for a second skin finish. It doesn't really say anything else than that. I love the packaging though. It reminds me of like something from like Anastasia or like a Disney movie where they open it and it should have like a little thing in it that sings. The packaging is beautiful. I'm going to be comparing this to e.l.f. Tahiti, which I thought was kind of more neutral. But now that I'm looking at them, they look more plum. So this one looks nude and this one looks more red, which I'm kind of scared about because on the packaging, it's like a wine color. So I'm going to apply this with my fingers, 2 fingers in, and I'm going to tap it because remember, I only put powder underneath my eyes. That really didn't do anything. Let me get another set. There you go. I just didn't put enough product on. Blend it up into my hairline. Let me try getting it on the Beauty Blender because I think that's taking up the foundation. Beautiful. We know e.l.f. blushes work. It is not as red as I thought it was going to be, which is good. So now let's do the Rare Beauty side. Oh, I can already tell the texture is different, guys. It is like, it literally melts in your fingers. Oh. They was not playing. Some things, it's weird because some things TikTok recommends are like complete shit. And I'm like, who started this trend? And then you get things like this that are just so freaking good that you're like, whoa, TikTok was right. So even just that little bit, it blends effortlessly. I'm gonna try picking some up on the Beauty Blender. It is not as pigmented as the e.l.f. one. And now I put too much on. Watch what you do, kids. But it is gorgeous. They are pretty similar on the face. This one is more nude. This one's more red. These are a comparison. They're not a dupe. But if this was less red and more nude, it probably would be a dupe. And the coverage is similar, but I do think I like the Rare Beauty one more. It's gorgeous. I'm blown away. Why do I do this to myself? Every time I review something or take something off, like put it on my face, I throw the packaging away. That's what I'm doing. So the next thing I'm going to do is bronzer. I have the Too Faced Cocoa or Chocolate Soleil Mini. And then I have this Wet n Wild bronzer. I know the Wet n Wild bronzer is beautiful, but I haven't tried it against this Chocolate Soleil. So I'm going to use this Real Techniques brush. And I'm going to take a clean brush that's similar. So this is the e.l.f. blush brush. So we will use, I know I did this backwards, but I already dipped into it. We're going to use the e.l.f. one on my high-end side. Don't do this with your mouth open or you get powder in your mouth like I just did, but it tastes so good because it tastes like chocolate. Okay, beautiful as always. Now we're going to take the Wet n Wild one. I'm so used to having to move my headband, but this one's working. So the Wet n Wild one is not as pigmented. And it's definitely more warmer because I used to use this to contour back in the day. Like way back in the day when I didn't really know what I was doing. The e.l.f. one is like more natural for my skin tone. This is more like a contour. I would say they're similar. I wouldn't say they're dupes because this one's darker. Does more for my cheekbones than this one. Definitely, you can see it on my face. Before I do my highlight, I forgot to do my eyebrows. So this is already tried and true. I'm going to skip through this, but I'm going to use ABH on this side. NYX Brow is on this side and do that. My NYX one just died because I used like the last little bit of it and then the last little bit fell out. We already know these are dupes. My colors aren't the same though, so this one's a little bit more red. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to do highlight. We are almost done. So for the drugstore side, I'm using ColourPop Flexitarian. This is beautiful, tried and true. Nothing new for the highlight, but I needed something because this is a full face. So there you go. There's Ofra Flexitarian. So gorgeous. Ooh. Okay. And then for this side, I'm going to use this kind of flat shadery brush. And I'm going to take this Ofra highlighter and blush bronzer and mix the pink and the like white together. This isn't going to be like an exact dupe, but it's what I got that's different. Oh, it might be an exact dupe. They kind of look the same. The Ofra one looks like chalky. Definitely prefer ColourPop. But they do look similar, not bad. Not bad. Last thing that I think might be a dupe or super similar, is this ColourPop lip gloss and Always Sunny from the Little Rays Sunshine collection, and the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Beaded Glass. You can tell Beaded Glass is a little bit more darker, but I'm curious to see how these look. So let's apply the ColourPop one. Sorry if you hear loud music. There's really annoying neighbors in front of me, and they keep having guests over with these loud Hondas and like loud cars, and they play music all night and wake up the whole neighborhood, and they keep having people come over and drive by my house. And like we're like 3 acres away from each other, so that's how loud and annoying they are. I say dead on Dupe. You can't even tell. We're like in the middle. The texture is definitely different. The Jeffree side's lighter and less like thick. This reminds me of a MAC. The MAC lip glosses like way back in the day that are super goopy. This is what this reminds me of. The gloss one isn't as bad, but you can feel it on your lips. But this is my makeup. Oh no, my headband like shedded. I kept picking these little white things out of my hair. It's because I took the headband off and moved it. Headband thing totally bums me out. I'm gonna be finding fuzz in my hair all day, and I just washed it last night. But this is my Dupe look. Besides this one eyebrow being messed up, it's pretty spot on. If you liked this kind of Dupe style video, drugstore versus high-end, leave a comment down below. This is my finished high-end side. This is my finished drugstore side. I really hope you enjoyed this because I had so much fun making this. And if you want to see videos like this in the future, please let me know. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be cutting clips of this for my TikTok, and I am starting to get a following over there. So if you don't already, I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, and I have a TikTok. I don't use my Twitter like pretty much ever, but I do have one. And thank you for watching.